Good morning. I've awakened in a mood, so no morning thunder today. Today it is Easter in my heart. I have awakened with a slowly growing uncaused joy. It is rooted in my awareness and experience of myself as eternal. Imagine, if you will, imagine if your perception, your experience of who you are were to broaden. With lucid dreaming, you're visiting many worlds regularly. And it's like being a little kid when you go on your bicycle, you go a little further than mom really wants you to go, but you learn about a new neighborhood and you feel expanded. Every time you learn more, and it's exciting and it's scary at the same time. Well, that broadening sense of self, of what belongs to you, what you encompass, what you have influence in and over, grows. And so, unlike most people in Earth Venue, I have an experience of myself, my true self, that is observing all of this, including this moment, consciousness itself, conscious of itself. That's me, and I have a growing experience of that. It's actually all of us, it's everything. But because of it, I have an awareness of my longevity beyond any one life. And so too continues the awareness that I am, because I have achieved a level of self-identification that transcends any one life. And so it's Easter in my heart. It feels like an eternal Easter, eternal spring. The mirror is a liar. Remember that. This is not you. I don't want you to think of your form as you. I don't want you to think of your story as you. I want you to know who you are, what you are. Because you cannot suffer loss or die. You can have dream experiences where that appears to happen. But you are an eternal, limitless godling. And I came back to remind you of what you know. Hey, don't know what you're doing, but it sounds like it's probably bad. He's a pika cat. He likes to eat things he shouldn't eat. He's 22 pounds. Back to where we were going. He's named Bindu because as a kitten, he slept on the pillow at the top of my head on Bindu Chakra. And he did it for a long time. He was a large kitten by the time I convinced him to stop doing that. I have pictures of me surrounded by him and his two sisters. It's all around my head, him on top. Bindu. So he has basked in that energy from a young age. And he's a very big kitty. So I don't normally lately, because I have so much to do, so much on my mind, so much in my agenda, I don't normally stop and just, candid disclosure here, just love my cats. I'm always putting it off till I get it all done. We all do that in the United States, okay? Because we've been taught to be so competitive and try to cram everything in a day. And we keep putting off enjoying that we're here until it's all done. We put off being polite to each other and loving to each other until we get the business done. And the business is never done, people. I want you to notice that. The business is never done. start your interactions with something loving. Show the other person they're not just an appliance to getting done what you need done. We're all so disaffected, cut off from each other. And it does not have to be that way. We're cut off from each other because we always put off loving each other until the business is done in this country. And that's somebody else's game, people. This is a game, but some people figured out how to hijack the themes early on. They made it all about them and their industry. Literally built a country around their industries. And now they don't, everything was designed to support getting fuel, coal, gas, oil. Everything was built around getting that. The railroad tracks, to get the supplies to the places where the extraction was done and the refineries, etc. It's all built for them. The entire country has been built for them, to sustain them. And they think they own us. They think we have to use their company store. We have to buy their gas. And they're organizing our government. They're buying the government to force us to stay playing their version of the game. And it's really unsatisfying. They're not even happy. So we're sacrificing our happiness to taskmasters who can never be satisfied. That's okay. Them being satisfied is not your job. They want to play this venue game by their rules and their objectives. They set the objectives. Get rich, buy power, stay rich, stay in power. And they want to force us to keep doing it. They only have power because we've given it to them. And you can take back the most important aspect of that power now, by no longer living as if the business will ever get done. That's right. Bindu says that's exactly right. No longer living as though the business will ever get done. Enjoy the seconds. Enjoy the brief respites. Be in charge of where you put your emotional and thought energy. Your emotions follow your thoughts. You have to be aware of that before you can be in charge of it. So observe it. The emotions follow the thoughts. Isn't that right? Observe the thoughts that are not serving you, causing emotions that are making you miserable. That's lucidity. Observe yourself in the process of observing the thoughts. That's deepening lucidity, brightening lucidity. Realize you're an eternal being. Eventually you will quit your form in this venue, and your attention will go somewhere else. And to the people left behind, most of them will be grieved. The ones that care about you, the life story that they think of as you, that's not really you at all. Most of those will be grieved. But it's really they're mourning their own loss. Some of them probably think maybe something bad has happened to you. They don't know where you are. They don't know what's going on. But I think the NDEs have been out there long enough for people now to know that the ones being left behind are the ones who are going to suffer. The ones who are dying from their point of view are being set free. They're being rescued from the dream of the world. Rescued from time. Time is change. Without change, there is no time. So if people say, there is no time in the eternal. That's not quite right. Time has no effect in the eternal. Time has no effect in the eternal. Change is experienced. Time has no effect. There's a distinction, and great truths all hide in fine distinctions like that. Because we think of time as change and real. Because of the things it does to our body. The mirror is a liar. And so is everything that whispers to you in your life that you are not free, not eternal, and have no real cause for joy. In reality, joy is the only thing you have real cause to feel, because you're eternal. And if this life doesn't, the story go exactly the way you thought you wanted it to go, it doesn't matter. Because you get story after story after story. And at a certain point in one of the stories, you reach a level of consciousness where all the stories are you. No little story of this or that lifetime and this or that venue is you anymore. It's not you, but it's not you. You're something much vaster, encompassing many stories and many worlds going on simultaneously. When I first discovered this was happening, I had a bit of what I call a temporal spatial displacement. It was disorienting to realize I was not at all whom I had taken myself to be. I was something much grander. I walked out of what I had thought to be my consciousness, myself, and discovered it a broom closet in a vast castle. And you're all there too. Your attention is just in a game where you think you can get all the work done. You've been conditioned to believe you can get all the work done and that you're a lousy person if you take time out for joy before the work is done. That's all other people telling you what you should think and feel so that they can control you. Don't believe them. Change the game, people. Change the game. We are the masses. We can change the game. All we have to do is decide. And to do that, we have to wake up from the daily grind. We've been conditioned to expect. Same thing every day. And we're also weary of the same thing every day. No creativity, the life gone out of us. We don't even see the beauty or hear or smell the world anymore. We're experiencing the labels, not the world itself. That is not you. That is a character you've been dreaming yourself to be. To wake up and change the story. You have to know you're not that character. You have to observe that character, because the observer is who you really are. The observer is who you really are. Well, it's not entirely who you are, but it's the path back, because there is no world out there. The way out is in you. You, consciousness itself, conscious of itself, are the portal. The universe is vast, endless. Our playground as godlings, our inheritance, our godly estate. You are not at all who you have taken yourself to be. And it's time for us to wake up from the game, the dream of the game others have designed to make themselves rich and get themselves power and keep themselves rich and keep themselves in power. Your godlings, get creative, but above all, claim your seconds, claim your present moment. Claim it and enjoy it, live centered in it. Pet the cat. Stop setting aside your own enjoyment of being here until the work is all done, because the work is never going to get done. They understand this in other cultures. Not all others, but other cultures understand this. The United States is fairly unique in having been conditioned so completely that we're just caught up in our roles in this particular game. It's these objectives that other people have set for us and we have consented to. And now they're on the march telling us our lives are valueless unless we make babies for them. Well, maybe by their standards, valueless, but they're keeping us asleep. They're trying to keep us asleep in the dream of their objectives and their yardsticks of what is valuable. Their measure is that women are not valuable unless we're making a profit for them by supplying babies that we raise into children who go to work into their mills. And now they want to bring back child labor too. Even the children are not going to be allowed to have a childhood. These bastards will never be satisfied. It is up to us to say no. Nobody is satisfied. Nobody in this game is having any fun. Nobody in this game is waking up. Not even the oligarchs are happy. They're miserable too. So let's change it. We can do it. Yeah, she gives the best kisses. Big kitty. Sorry about the tail in your face. It's Easter in my heart. I want it to be Easter in yours too. Eternal spring. Now, take back your moments. That's now. Now, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about besides being here right now? Listening to this background music. This background music is available, a state of brainwave induction state with beautiful self-empowering subliminals is available for free when you purchase any book from my store at crackedpotpublishing.com, where you can book a session with me, multiple sessions with me. And reports are from people that this is just as enjoyable and empowering to them as it is to me. If you're watching this and you've had personal experience because you bought a book and you got this audio from me or you had a session with me, I give this to most everyone who has a session with me. Because I want you all to feel your transcendent self. I want you to enjoy a feeling of impending eternal spring. How could it be otherwise? We're all godlings here. We can but appear to suffer loss and die in this venue. And yet it is our godly estate to observe it and to find ourselves the observer, to discover ourselves the observer, to find the blessings and rename a thing and redeem the thing in the light of that perspective we assign as the boon, the pearl of great price that makes it all worthwhile. And if you can discover yourself, the true self, consciousness itself, conscious of itself, that is the greatest boon of all, because you will regard yourself entirely differently, gracing every moment. Looking upon the world with a forgiving sight that knows you are real and nothing real can be threatened. I love you. Today I remember the self that I am, that I was in the Lustrous Vast. So come home to love, come home to this second. The present moment, perfectly sufficient in every way, except for your labels. You're labeling unconsciously instead of consciously. Reactively instead of using your labels for the magic wand that they are. I dub a thing beneficial, and so it is. I find that pony that left that pile of apparent poo steaming in my yard. Oh look, there's the pony. And then I focus on the pony, because I know how to wield my attention. And I know its benefit, and I'm trying to wake you up to that. You are in charge, and you're the one in charge of where the attention goes. What self-talk you choose. Wake up from the dream you've gotten stuck in. The dream of, you're just doing the things you've been taught to do, thinking the way you've been taught to think. Wake up in identification as the consciousness itself, observing all of that and saying, wait a minute, none of this is serving me or making anyone happy at all. I highly recommend you read Rise. It makes A Course in Miracles much more accessible, and in a lot of ways it makes A Course in Miracles unnecessary. Everything the Course in Miracles taught you in all those pages that take months to read, you will be taught by Rise in 2 to 3 days, 4 at the outside, if you take your time reading it. If you're already into this and understand the concepts, it takes you 1 day to read. If the concepts are entirely new to you, you're going to back up, go, what? And back up and read it again several times. And that causes a shift in perception of what you are. So it's perfectly normal. You have to, great truths hide in fine distinctions, so you have to understand there's 2 interpretations at least of every word. There's the mundane and the spiritual interpretation, and I'm going for the spiritual interpretation, and your brain is naturally going with the mundane interpretation, which causes you, when you read, to say, wait a minute, and back up and have to read it again. When that happens, realize you're misinterpreting by your conditioning certain words, and I'm trying to break your conditioning. I'm trying to break your conditioning, people. Because the identification breaks, and you are more likely to discover yourself. Crackedpotpublishing.com. Rise. Okay. Crackedpotpublishing.com. Sign up for a session with me or buy any of the books, and you get Portal of Abundance free. And you get happy. Priceless.